Hello friends, good morning. Welcome to my channel Essentials of Management. Motto of this channel is to evolve high standards of education and training of the subject management science in general and that of environment, health and safety management in particular. Friends, we are going to look into human psychology, personality and behavior series. Today we will have discourse 4 where we will discuss elements of inner personality part 2. In part 1 we discussed about temperament and character. So there are various factors of the inner personality. Out of that we looked into character and temperament in the last part. Now today we will look into perception and learning. So let us understand what is perception. It's a bit difficult to understand it. You can understand it, but it's very difficult to express it. We humans seem to attach meanings, interpretation, values and aims to our actions. So whatever you do, whatever action you take, there is certain attachment of meanings, interpretation, values and aims. That means when you act, there is certain aim. There are certain values which drives you to act, and that values have come from whatever certain meanings you have understood and whatever the interpretation you do about whatever is happening surrounding you. So our actions are always backed by our meanings. It's what we mean by what you learn or what you understand, what you interpret about the surrounding, and what value you gain out of that, and what aim you decide. What we do in the world depends on how we understand our place in it. So we are in this world and we are always trying to understand what is your place in this world, how you relate with the world, because you are always in the relation with the world outside you. In turn, it depends on how we perceive ourselves and our social and physical environment, and how we perceive our circumstances. So all the time we are perceiving our circumstances, we are going through, and whatever is the physical and social environment surrounding us. So social environment, that your family, your school, your college, the society you come from, your educational background, all and all that. So it is always the case that because we are in this physical surrounding and this social surrounding, we perceive ourselves according to that. So each one of us perceives the world around us in different ways, because our physical surroundings are different and particularly our social surroundings are different. And so the perception of X is always different than perception of Y, and perception of Y is always different than perception of Z. So every person's understanding, his interpretation, his values are dependent on how he perceives and what he perceives from the world around that particular person. So our way of perception is different and therefore we differ. It is our personal perception of that reality which shapes and directs our behavior. So it always, as I said, it directs our behavior, so it directs our actions and some objectives understanding of external reality. So we always understand the world around us through our perception, and accordingly we create our values, our beliefs, and we interpret. So the human behavior is a function of the way we perceive the world around us and how we perceive other people and events in the world. So all the time we are perceiving the world around us, all the time we are perceiving other people, because there are people around us, and every time 24 hours 365 days there are certain events occurring around us, and through that perception our behavior is shaped. That's why it is called as the function of our perception. Behavior is a function of our perception. We often find ourselves unable to understand other people's behavior. Why? Because my perception is different. My way of perceiving is different. His way of perceiving is different. His perception is different. And so, number of times there is a question in our mind, or at the very start, we have asked one question: why people behave as they behave? So, it's always a question mark that somebody X or Y is behaving in that way. To understand each other's behavior, we need to be able to understand each other's perception. So this is important, that if you want to understand the behavior of somebody else, you will have to understand the way he perceives. What is his perception? Now let us define what is perception. Perception may be defined as the dynamic psychological process. It's a very, very complex process. It's very difficult to explain, difficult to understand. So it's the dynamic psychological process responsible for attending to, organizing and interpreting sensory data. So what is sensory data? Sensory data is the data collected through our 5 sensory organs, namely eyes, nose, ears, tongue and skin. So they are the medium of perception. Try to understand. All our sensory organs are the medium of perception, and all the sensory organs for 24 hours keep on collecting the data. So we keep on collecting the data, what we see with your eyes, what we smell from our nose, what we hear from by our ears, and so on. And all this sensory data goes to our brain. We must understand that everything and anything we perceive is through these sensory organs. However, it is very important that one must understand that sensory organs are only the instruments of perception, or the medium of perception, as I said, and in reality our brain perceives by the process of interpretation of the incoming raw data in the light of our experiences, in terms of our current needs and interests, in terms of our knowledge, expectations, beliefs and motives. So far we have understood that our sensory organs collect the data, raw data, okay, that goes to your brain. So actually eyes, nose, ears, they don't perceive. Who perceive? Our brain perceives, because brain receives that data and brain interprets that data, and brain interprets that data in the light of what we have experiences in the past, what our current needs are and what our interests are. So always you get attracted to a thing which is interested to you. You interpret the data according to your need. Then it is, you just compare it with your experiences. You compare it or see in the light of your knowledge. What are your expectations? What are your values and beliefs? And what are your motives? So all of us have similar nervous system and share more or less common sensory organs. So nervous system is same. Sensory organs are also same. But what is different? The difference is your surrounding, your physical environment, particularly your social environment. So however we have different social and physical backgrounds, which give different values, interest and expectation, and therefore different perception, right? So keep in mind that there are 5 sensory organs. They are the instruments of data collection. All the raw data goes to your brain. Your brain perceives, and brain perceives in the light of your past experiences, your knowledge, your values, your belief, and your current needs and interest and your expectations, right? Now we'll come to learning. Learning covers virtually all behaviors and is concerned with the acquisition of knowledge. So learning is a process to acquire knowledge, attitude, values, emotional response such as happiness and fear, and motor skill such as operating a computer keyboard or riding a bicycle. So learning is a behavior basically, and it comes from where? It comes from the acquisition of knowledge. We perceive the things and our brain interprets, and there is a certain knowledge to us through that, and through knowledge we develop our attitudes, values, emotional response and the motor skills. Okay, we can learn incorrect facts or pick up bad habits in the same way we learn correct facts and acquire good habits. So this is always thing that if you are in the bad surrounding or bad social surrounding, then your habits will be bad. If you are in a good social surrounding, then you can acquire the good habits because you see good people, good happenings around you. It refers to spectrum of changes that occur as a result of one's experience. So it depends on what your experiences are in the past. Learning may be defined as any relatively permanent change in behavior or behavioral potential produced by the experience. So learning happens through experiences. Temporary or semi-permanent changes are not expected through learning. So what is expected? There is always expected a permanent change in your knowledge, your attitude and your values when we talk of the learning. So friends, enough for today. We learn about perception and learning. Thank you for watching. Please resume viewing. For that, switch on to Discourse 5, where we will discuss elements of inner personality, part 3, where we will discuss about values. So once again, thank you very much. Please do not forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel. Have a good day.